Okay.
Mr. Roberts, you're flying solo.
It's Mr. Roberts. You were worried about mispronouncing her name. You got it. That's okay. So my name is Ray Roberts, and I support the EPA in taking its action through the Clean Power Plan to address our climate crisis, because some action is better than no action. Climate scientists are warning us that the EPA's targets for CO2 reduction are far too low. How fast do we need to change? Well, climate science also tells us that there is a window of time where our actions today can still prevent the worst of the climate disasters down the road. But exactly how big our time window range is, that's uncertain. It depends on human variables like how strong the EPA rules are. So first, I call on the EPA to raise their requirements on reducing carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in order to more accurately address the scale and the urgency of our climate crisis. I'm also here to thank the EPA for listening to multiple testimonies, including mine last year, that called for a carbon fee and dividend at the state level to become an allowed means for states to follow your rules. On page 899 of the Clean Power Plan, you did indicate that it is one way that states could comply. That one page out of a 1,560-page document seems to indicate just how much simpler it would be for states to use instead of a rate or mass-based cap and trade market. So second, in your amendments to the Clean Power Plan, please spell it out. I ask that you make an explicit comparison between the simplicity of a rising carbon fee, where all the money could be returned to citizens, and compare that with the complexity of a cap and trade marketplace. Third, I ask that you compare how a carbon fee and dividend could satisfy multiple Clean Power Plan rules by addressing more than one greenhouse gas that the EPA is regulating. Fourth, I'm asking you to explain in detail how a state would use modeling of their carbon fee and dividend that would satisfy your rules to reduce greenhouse gas pollutants. Please break it down. Spell it out. Problems with the EPA rules promoting cap and trade should be explicitly laid out in these amendments. Fifth, cap and trade can be extremely complex and very costly to set up. Cap and trade can be regressive. It can cost the poorest people the most as short-term energy costs rise before they are expected to fall after a few years. And seventh, cap and trade has a demonstrated history of being both corrupted and gamed. A carbon tax without a dividend can also be regressive. I need for you to study recent research by Resources for the Future that compares how different carbon tax methods affect the economy. I am convinced that the very best methods of applying a carbon tax clearly use a dividend to all citizens, because the people most affected by rising costs of greenhouse gas pollution are the poor and middle class. Carbon fee and dividend is simple, transparent, and with a dividend, it can resolve any regressive problems. These are things that states need to know that they can use to comply with the Clean Power Plan rules. Please use these amendments to raise the bar. Make your rules have a larger impact to really make a difference on our planet's climate. And please use these amendments to make explicit comparisons between cap and trade and what economists tell us would be better: a carbon fee that provides a dividend equally to all. Please use these amendments to compare in detail specific problems with using cap and trade versus an alternative like a carbon fee with a dividend. Thank you.